The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV.
Well, my girl's got the sweetest pussy, nestles in her lap. Be the first to admit and wanna stroke that kid and fail.
Welcome to SinCityBounty.com. I know it looks empty in here, but it's not. We have tons of people joining us very shortly, so don't stray too far. But we were super surprised when Brie, our friend, walked through the door. Yay! Those of I know a lot of you who watch us know who Brie is. You're visiting from
Wisconsin.
I know,
it's embarrassing to say it because I used to be able to say Las Vegas, and now I say rural Wisconsin.
And is everyone else's natural response immediately, where's my cheese curds? Because that's what I was looking forward to, was cheese curds.
Yeah, I usually get a Packer joke or where's my cheese?
Yeah.
Or did you bring your cheese head with you?
Have you become a Packers fan?
No, well, I mean, the whole family is, so I guess I'm supposed to be. And you'd actually get lynched if you admitted it publicly that you're not.
Are you even a football fan?
No.
I mean, okay.
I could give a hoop. I mean, really. So, so if you ask me if Packer fan, I'm going, go Pack. Because I want to live.
I've always thought about if I wanted to move someplace, I want to live by the ocean. But Wisconsin does have the Great Lakes.
Yeah,
so
I live on the lake.
I thought that would maybe compensate for it, and all those beautiful German dudes live there.
Oh, there's a lot of German and a lot of Polish people.
Polish and German, right?
So they have this thing called kringle that's like this pastry and that you can only get in that area. So there's that. There's cheese.
I see a care package in our future.
You didn't bring cheese with you?
Does it include a big
I flew Allegiant. You can only take 40 pounds,
How many pounds?
40 pounds, I mean, I had to take some clothes.
And the rest of you might have wanted some.
So you're missing Vegas a lot?
Yes, desperately.
Because of the weather? Because it's like minus 40
it's
there,
just
right?
a different lifestyle. It's a different culture. There's fast food 24/7. That's really important to me. I live in a town that's a huge land area, but there's very few people. There's under 3,000, and it's called the Chain of Lakes. So there's like a huge. It's all lakes. There's no people. There's very little land, but all the houses built around like different lakes that all kind of chained and linked together. So it's gorgeous. There's deer that visit every day. It's pretty. It's nice. The people are all nice. I know all my neighbors. They're genuinely glad to see you. I'm happy to see them, which is odd for me.
Yeah, you don't really get that in Vegas too much.
No, I mean, you'd see your neighbor. It's like if they wave, it's like, oh, I divert my eyes. But yeah, you want them to just wave only, and then you move on. It's like, and if you have an emergency, okay, fine, I'm put out, but I'll help you. But in Wisconsin, and the other thing about Wisconsin is nobody calls. They just stop by.
No.
So your house needs to be like company ready at all times.
I don't even answer a call on my phone. Even knowing who it is, if you stop by at my house, no. I will electrocute you.
Yeah. And I didn't answer my door. My ex-husband used to give me a hard time about that because he's like, why won't you answer? I'm like, there's nothing good on the other side of that door if I'm not expecting them. I'm like, why would I do that?
Why would they call and say, hey, are you home? Hey, I'm doing this. No, they're coming to you because, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they have to, or like you owe them money, or they owe you money, or they want money,
or they're going to rob me is what I think. They're going to rob. I mean, rape and pillage would be okay, but rob me, I want my stuff.
Turns out you're sleeping with their husband and you didn't know.
Yeah.
Worse, could be your cousin you didn't know. I don't know. You just don't know.
No, there's nothing good on the other side of that door.
Except your cousins are hot.
We talked about this, Kelly, about, dipping in the cousin pool.
Listen, number one, if that dude was my cut, like, I wouldn't go for that dude, the butt licker, the one who...
Don't, you know what? Don't knock it till you've tried it.
No, I've tried it, but
Okay.
not because...
Not with the cousin, okay.
For those of you who don't follow Toxi on Facebook, she occasionally posts about messages that get sent to her, and one came from her cousin who
No,
wanted...
he wasn't really a cousin. He was just a dude, and his first message was,
Gotcha.
I'd love to lick that butthole. And I'm like, hey, this is a little awkward, but we're cousins. And at the family reunion, you spit out my homemade potato salad. And if you can't handle my potato salad, you can't handle licking my ass. So...
And so I commented something
very
about,
similar
like,
taste.
stop trolling for dates at the family reunion.
Right, and Ancestry.com. The thing is, like, I have this really hot cousin that's like a surgeon and part-time at the...
Volunteer firefighter,
Yeah,
right?
And I
in New
just
York.
suggested
I'm like,
you can
I'm
move to another
probably not
state.
that one.
You move down south, you're good.
I live down south. You just
Jersey.
be careful there.
New Jersey, it's legal there.
Be careful in Jersey, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're very careful in Jersey. In Jersey, everyone's related.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is your aunt, cousin, uncle, everyone.
I would just like you all to know that Thor Johnson is taking his clothes off on our show.
And I'm sitting beside him when he does it.
Can I share what your
Oh, wait, he's
text
keeping
said?
his shirt on.
For now.
Can I share what your text said on my way in?
Sure.
I wanted to see if Brie was here yet. I didn't tell these guys she was coming.
We assumed she was the special guest when she walked through the door, and we're like, we don't know who that is.
And I said, no, I'm the
So
studio
I knew-
audience.
I knew you know when she walked in. But, and they knew Thor was coming. And then she knew Thor was coming. So I texted her, hey, Brie, are you here yet? And she's like, no, I'm blowing Thor. And I'm like, I'm standing
should've
right
got
next
here.
to him.
Should've
Like,
got here earlier.
you should have been here earlier.
Should've
You
been
See?
here
missed
earlier.
opportunity.
I was in the parking lot for a
there.
while. Just saying.
Does this have to be in the parking lot or under the table?
No,
Is
there's
okay?
there's a tablecloth.
Brie's very flexible.
Because, you know, I'm
just
private like
saying.
that.
Brie's classy and shit. She will, like...
We do
Yeah.
have paper towels over here if we need
As long
cleanup
as
later.
there's a
Those are
table.
good
Brie
for
doesn't
knee
need
pads, I
paper
found.
towels.
Yeah,
If you don't need paper towels, don't worry, Brie. I gotcha.
good. So what were you doing in the parking lot? Like, you walked in with them.
She was blowing Thor.
Oh.
What else? What do you do in the parking lot? Like...
I thought that was only at parties. Is that any parking lot for
Oh, that's
you?
any
Because
parking lot, yeah.
now I just need to know what your standards are, so when I tell my friends about you...
She's not picky. Any parking lot will do.
I'm a little
Wait a second,
more
you asked
picky
about
now.
what
Like,
standards?
I prefer a parking lot that, you know, like I won't do it at Disneyland. I mean, I have
I
standards.
think that's a perfect place to do it. Because nobody is at their cars at Disneyland. Once they're out of their car, they are out of their car for at
That,
least
you know
18
what,
hours.
explain that
I
to the
paid
judge. Oh, that's going to look
$75,000
bad.
for a family of four.
That's
I
going to
tried.
look bad with the
will
judge, though.
not agree.
You know, Walmart, you know, the judge may let that slide.
I think Walmart's gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
Walmart, yeah.
Walmart will, like, do a
They
blue
use
light
it
special
in
and
the-
steal
Yeah,
the,
they're
the
like-
thing from
Walmart
Kmart,
uses
you
it in
know?
their, Walmart uses it in their marketing material.
Yeah.
They're
As
like,
long as you're a customer.
Spend the
Yeah.
night, buy some things, blow a dude in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's it.
As long as you're wearing pajamas while you shop.
Yeah.
and they literally let you park your RV there.
Yeah.
They are asking you to have sex in their parking lot. I mean,
I never
or
thought
camp
of
there.
that.
Yeah.
You mean they're just not sleeping?
Why else are you gonna
Why else
park
would
an
you
RV?
have an RV? So you can fuck everywhere you go.
So
That's
the
why people
RVs are
like having
rocking?
beds everywhere they go.
Toxi doesn't need an RV for that.
Ooh.
Some things I'm not going to tell you anymore.
So this is our last show of 2018. Therefore, it is now show 400. No more 499.25, 499.5. We are at, or 399, 399.75.
I was going to say, you're going...
We are now, this is 400. We'll start the new year at 401.
Woo!
Wow.
401. This is your 400th show.
Yes.
Well,
Actually,
it's,
it's
more like-
at this point.
It's like
I
our
just- I
410th show right now.
Yeah.
Because
Can I, like, make a special request that I'm on, like, show number 6969?
Jesus, if we're around for another 5,500 and some odd episodes, I don't know if I can handle all that. So,
I might be dead, but...
I'm going to be gumming people in the parking lot beforehand.
You know, you take out your teeth and, you
That's what's going
know...
to happen. really
be
like.
Sin City Bounty. It's going to be Sin City Saggy at that point.
You act like it's not now.
I paid a lot of money. Well, I didn't, but someone paid a lot of money for these bras.
So
I just
funny.
not saggy.
How about 469?
Okay, that's sooner.
That is, it's 69. That's 70 weeks from now.
It's a year and a
I could do that.
a year and a half from now.
Okay.
Count me in on that one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
should
we gotta
go-
take her.
You know what? To make up for the fact that we didn't do a big drunken brawl for our 400th episode like we usually do on the 100th episodes, I say we make it a goal that we have 2 major episodes this upcoming 100 episode cycle. We have episode 420 coming up.
Oh, nice.
We can do that one
It's
from my
legal
house, 'cause
here.
I don't think we can do that here.
You can do it here if you include Johnny. Plus,
So,
our next story.
I think Johnny would probably put his miracle marijuana into the pool.
So we have episode 420 coming up, and then episode 469 coming up, and I think we should definitely do a big blowout one for 469.
The
Is that one also
blowout,
at your
huh?
place?
Just blow it everywhere.
No, I mean, we've got, 2 major sex clubs in town? We could call and see if they'd let us do it from there.
Sure they would.
I know people.
They would. The one
Leave your names.
I put. If
Don't
you
tell 'em who you are.
ever walk up behind me in the sex club, the one where you sign in, I never put my real name, and I never put anyone else who's with me. I'm like, don't worry, I got it, and I write their name. It's never.
Big Booty Judy
It's always something that is.
Can we use our show name? That's what I use.
That's what I use, but I always make up their name.
Yeah.
So.
What? I don't know what club that is. I've been away
All right,
too
so
long.
that's the goal, 420 and 469. Hey, if we have to rent a space or whatever, we could use your help. We have a Patreon account.
South Pecos.
Patreon.com/SinCityBounty. You can't miss us.
You could always go onto our
I'm here
website
all
at
week.
SinCityBounty.com and make a one-time donation via PayPal. That would be awesome.
If you make a big enough donation, you can be on the show with us for episode 469.
You make a big enough donation, and Kelly, like,
Maybe take you
know?
to a Walmart parking lot.
In my RV.
you buy.
No, your van is so equipped for like anything. So her van is equipped for the apocalypse.
It is.
Like we went to something one day and she had everything in there. She's like, look, I have like a gas stove in here. I have cooking. I have utensils. I can restart your heart if you go into cardiac arrest. Like everything is in there.
Actually, all of that was true. Because we were driving to another state, which was more than a couple of hours away. And if we did break down on the side of the road, we cannot go 4 hours without eating. It is physically impossible.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
I had everything to make gourmet robin soup just in case we broke down.
But she forgets the part. So the back of her vehicle, the back of her van is filled with this wilderness survival kit. I mean, everything you can possibly imagine. But then she brought the snack box. Like, I just had to show up. Like, the snack box wasn't even included in the apocalypse kit.
No, that's a take and go kit. Like, that gets
The
refilled.
snack box was, like, amazing. She just puts it to where all the seats can reach it. And then she's like, here you go.
We put one
Don't
kid
make
in
a
charge
mess.
of handing out snacks, one kid in charge of pouring drinks. Road trip.
It was amazing. You go on a road trip with me, you're like sifting past smelly soccer shit. You're
I
out of
just
there
bring a
in
log of
15
cookie
minutes.
dough, and I'm good. But
So we've already introduced you, for those of you who don't know, Brie, as our special surprise guest. Super surprise for myself and Sierra. But we have one person asking, who is the hot guy that looks like Thor in our studio?
That is Thor.
Is this Thor? It's actually Thor.
Thor. Who said I look like Thor?
Thor, historically, and I'd use the air quotes because he's a myth, but he was a redhead.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
very red and very handsome.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna tell you something, Thor. Here's the thing: we all have the three of us have very different taste in men. Like
But we all agree.
the
on
most opposite. You are like the one guy that we're all like, oh yeah, he's
I
hot.
fit right into it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you Like, all of us are like, oh, yeah.
She likes them tall, blonde, and Nordic. She likes them neck tattooed. And I like them like they look like they'd get pulled over for a random check by TSA. That's the way I like them.
I like them breathing.
So this is Thor Johnson, XXX after his name, because if you type that into Google search, you will find his Twitter, you will find his website, and he is, yes, he is a local porn star.
It's true, yeah. I do live in Las Vegas now. Been here for a year last June. So a year and a half. Yeah.
Nice.
Loving it.
That's your mic there. Can you grab it and pull it closer to you?
I thought we were sharing a mic.
We are.
Let's do
I thought we were sharing something other than the mic, but we'll go with the mic.
I think there's a Walmart just right down the road.
That's my thing, apparently. I will tell you right now, I had already texted, I think I texted you that I was going to have to put duct tape on my pants to keep them on during the show.
Yeah, I can read the exact text one.
No, I mean, we got the general idea.
No, we should read the exact one. It's hilarious.
I have a bone to pick with someone in our chat. Amy, Marvel made him a blonde, but if you read through historical records or myths or the Vedas or whatever the hell the Norse people have, he was red.
So, Toxi said he sent me pics from his photo shoot today. I'm bringing duct tape to take my pants on. I don't trust myself.
Did you share with everybody the
No, I
photos?
was going to share here, and then I got here a little late, so trust me.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
be-
Kelly was late.
I know.
Let's see. What did I say? Oh, there's one with my dog. There's my cock owl.
I swear to God, he was
I-
gonna say
that's
he
a
was
nice
my dog.
a dog.
There's one with this.
Throwing a snowball. Oh, that's the website that I'm launching.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote on you.
Oh, you wrote on me? She's
Yeah.
marking me.
I did. I marked it.
Marking me
Abby
already.
says, what? There's never been a guy on when I've been there. She is feeling so left out.
That's
Abby,
because
you so missed out.
That's why you just have to show up.
You see how gorgeous this is, right? You think we really
used to
want to
pop
share,
in from
even though we
Wisconsin
like
down
you
there.
guys a lot?
Popping in.
Yeah, we
there's
pop.
some things we just won't share.
we saved all of this for Brie. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, we totally planned this.
I'm moving over closer. Oh, and he's strong. He just moved my whole chair.
So you're launching a new website, right?
I am, yeah. It's called Thor-BBW.com.
Nice. So it's apparently got a BBW bend to it.
It's all BBW, 100%. That's the whole banner and everything. All BBW, 100%. Stars, newcomers, and amateurs. So
Now, is that because you're filling a request, or because you have an actual attraction normally to BBWs?
well, I normally have an attraction, and I need a place to put all these women.
So if you actually go through your catalog, I don't know a polite way to say it. You go through my spank
They're called
bank.
blue binders.
If you go through my spank bank, you will see that you have an assortment of women, and so you're not specific to one type. Like, you don't say, "Hey, I just shoot with this type of female."
Yeah. No, I love all women, especially big women. My favorite. So, it's time to launch that site. Within this last year, I've really built a bigger BBW fan base, and I think it's going to be time right now to launch it. So, it's going to have. I'm going to be the only male on it, and it's going to have all types of BBWs: young, mature, big, small BBW, SS BBW, all races. I lost track of thinking about all those women.
Yeah. You got any names you can lay down for us yet?
Oh, yeah. Alexia Salor. I've got tons of videos with her. Julieta Veliz, the super famous BBW from Mexico. Let me go through my phone here.
His little black book.
So Thor's website, this new
There's that
website,
creep over his shoulder.
will now be the new. If you put a scroll option on your website, it can become the new Tumblr porn for myself, Toxi, and Sierra.
So this is my Tumblr porn.
Did they actually take it down? I haven't checked
Today,
it.
I
right?
haven't checked it today. Yeah, today's supposed to be the first day with no Tumblr porn.
I wonder if they took all my stuff down.
Sarah said,
There's
I
a
would
lot
love
on
to
there.
see Thor's hammer. Yes. Steven said, I love this. I love this. Steven said,
Oh, jeez, I
could-
just saw who that is.
could Target be considered too fancy for eating out snack boxes?
No.
Target.
Not
guess I
their
should've said it
parking
Target.
lot. No.
I mean, if we're being
Did you
honest,
find your list?
Target is when you're feeling a little classy. Then you use
It's
Target
like
parking lot.
Walmart is pajamas.
Right.
Target is like matching panties and bra.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It's a little bit
here's the Elexia public service message. Please do not make out in the parking lot of Target or Walmart because there are
Well, I mean,
always a
that's
ton of
still on
kids in those parking lots. Thank you very much.
Is that what? That is still there.
That's still there.
And I really just. So
I
we
think
know,
it's
I
all
don't
going to
really-
still be on.
I know I know.
Okay.
It's only usually the party ones. That's why I thought
I
it was
don't give
only.
blowjobs in the party parking lot either.
It's the
Because
car bar that
not
she's
even
going
anymore,
out
It was
to.
the other host. It was our old
That was the
co-host.
other thing.
Wait,
No,
you know,
you do handies in the parking lot.
Like, you do a handy in a parking lot once,
You
and
only
then
gotta
you
fuck
have a
one sheep.
reputation.
Do you know there's an actual term for fucking sheep? I have a friend who like always
Fuck
knows
sheep.
the names of things. And if I were ever on a game show and I had a phone a friend, she would be the one I would call for like the actual name of something. And there's the name for fucking sheep is called blissaming.
Blissaming.
The fact that she told you that is one thing. The fact that you remember it.
Fully remember.
Like, I don't even remember the word now, and it's 4 seconds later.
Blissaming.
So it
Blissaming.
really stuck with you.
And I
Say it
never,
again?
you know what, blissaming. I never actually looked it up.
It said listening. Just got to put a B in front of it.
Blissaming.
We're going to Google this.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell it.
We're live Googling blissaming, which is fucking
Blissaming.
sheep.
Well, and the other thing that she told me that I always remembered the name of is like back in, I don't know, 150 years ago when there were ladies of the night, and like I guess it was common for them to have crabs, like in that period of time. And they would have to shave like everything so that like the guys that wanted a woman that didn't have crabs, they would look for a hairy bush. So they actually had wigs.
Oh, a merkin.
A merkin,
Yeah,
exactly.
we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure.
You know, I would
See,
go
I can't teach you anything.
in the time of shaving pubic hair to get rid of crabs. I would go with the shaved pussy because at least you know there's no. You can see.
You can
that
see
there's
it.
No crabs.
Well, I guess they liked it hairy back then.
But the ones that shaved it had proved that they had crabs.
Yes, but they no longer had crabs. The one with
But
the
shaving
bush-
your pubes does not get rid of crabs.
Well, no, but it makes them easier to see.
Maybe back then they thought it did.
Maybe they did.
Maybe
now
they
all
thought
I
they could
see are
clean
just
it
a bunch
better.
of little insects running around some lady's pubed crotch.
I'm like
A
envisioning
two-cube
like
crotch.
red and
Did
like
you
pinchers.
Did you ever see one of those cartoons where I forget which one it was, but like the fleas? It had to be an animal one, and the fleas make little like circuses and stuff for like the flea circus.
So you're seeing genital crab
Yeah.
circuses?
I'm picturing like The Greatest Showman and
You
Write a
you're
song.
The one who knows what sheep fucking is. What's the technical term? I see crab circuses. I mean, come
okay,
on.
point
Flea
taken.
market.
Even I learned something on this show.
So what do you see, Thor?
Like a flea market, like she said. Now that
Yeah.
that's stuck in my head.
See?
A bunch of crabs.
They're all
just-
down there. They're like on a little. Yeah. They're on the little. What's that? The little Ferris wheel. Like. I don't know.
The tightrope. They
Oh,
do
yeah.
the tightrope.
Yeah.
There's a little genital lice family called the Graysons, and they have a tiny little son named Dick, and they fall to their death inside the crevasse of the vagina, and now he has to go and live with the rich crab named Bruce.
So
I'm
the
concerned.
lice.
You came up with it just that fast?
So
That's the story of Batman and Robin.
she has lice.
She totally has Batman and Robin crabs.
Pubic lice. Like,
I can see little crab Batman. I am the night.
I mean, I have a serious question because I've never seen one like up close. Do like crabs actually? Are they like
No, probably not. They're more like head lice.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's how they are.
Because I really pictured red and
Yeah, like
I don't think they're actual crabs now.
yeah,
they're down there like building a little sand castle.
yeah,
It's like SpongeBob.
yeah.
It's like a SpongeBob cartoon.
SpongeBob. Like Mr. Krabs. Oh. Okay, so I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
We're going to move on from crabs.
Okay, that's good.
So, I know that the BBW Awards are coming up in January,
Yes.
and they're different from the ones that we've broadcast from. We used to broadcast from BBW Con,
Yeah, which no longer exists.
which no longer exists. So now it's the one, and it's run by Eliza Allure.
That's correct, yeah.
And you're up for a nomination.
Yeah, I am. I am up for Best Male Talent for BBW videos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's got to be some hard talent to come up against, too.
They've got some good names.
that
Shane
take
Diesel's on there.
It took me exactly 3 milliseconds to come up with that.
is Christian on there?
Christian, of course, Christian's on there. He's the largest producer, self-producer of BBW porn, so.
So how do you go there to vote for you? And only you, not the others.
Oh,
Don't vote
you
for
you
the others.
just go to www.bbwawards with an S show.com. It's all one word. Yeah, 2 S's. 2 S's, all one word. And go to vote. Voting ends on the 17th, which is what is today?
The
The
18th.
So don't vote.
We'll jump on there and see. Maybe I'm
Damn
wrong
it.
with the
Maybe they
date.
haven't closed
See
it
if we
out
still
yet.
can.
you
Maybe
know?
maybe it's not
Maybe
closed
shouldn't
out.
shut it down.
I believe it ends on the 17th, but I don't know.
You know, maybe if you're stuck in a time vortex, you can figure it out.
Maybe.
Or Thor probably broke the internet anyway, so you
I'm
can
up
probably
against
still
some
vote.
pretty. I'm up against some pretty big names. So.
When you upload those photos, though, I mean that's some pretty hot shit there.
Is this your first
So-
nomination?
Yes, it is.
So if you win, that's going to be like,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Just being nominated is a big deal
Yeah.
for me. Especially in this category because I love BBW and I love BBW porn. It's the main stuff that I watch and jerk off to. So I've always dreamed about, winning an award, but like in a category that I like. So the BBW award shows, that's like our AVN. I'm super excited. And I'm working at the AVN. I'm signing at the Model Central booth. Because that's where I host my website through, is Model Central.
So you'll be there as well.
Yeah. They'll be there as well, and signing photos and getting photos taken and doing all that.
And not taking your dick out, though, right?
No, not at
They
the
don't let
AVN.
you in public. You should know better. We had to cover nipples when
And
we
we
had
still
the,
got gigged
the-
on YouTube.
Yeah.
And our pasties were big enough YouTube.
Even for Norma, what is it, Norma?
Norma Stitz.
Which
I
it took
know
me,
her
Which it
really
took
well.
me years to
Oh,
know
yeah?
what her
Yeah.
name meant.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what her name meant. It took me years.
Norma Stitz.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Enormous
But we
tits,
had
yes.
to cover. We had the booth, the motorboat booth. Thank you. And we donated the money to charity, but because we were recording it, everybody had to have their nipples covered.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, some motherfuckers are still dinging us
Really?
on
no,
YouTube.
it wasn't YouTube. It was somebody reported the video, and then YouTube
Right,
looked at it
right.
and said, yeah.
But more than one.
Yes. 5 years after the fact, though.
Right.
Right.
Years after
I mean,
the
this was
fact.
years
Okay,
ago.
you had a good run.
Yeah, we did.
Dicks.
I
This
think-
isn't Tumblr, bitches. It's YouTube.
But if you go through there, if you go through some of the other nominations that are on the card, I think there's a lot of individuals that we know, a lot of Vegas.
Well, we know a lot of
Individuals.
people in that industry, so we were speaking. This is a great segue, actually. So my son needs to have the sex talk, and his dad and I were talking about how we're going to handle it, and he was like, "You know a lot of people in that business. Just have them do it." I'm like,
In that business?
"That is the wrong way for him."
Well, see, what you gotta do is you gotta record it in a specific way that people are gonna want to see it.
It's not. That's not real sex. That's anime sex. You know, it's fun to watch, but it's not real life.
It
Yes.
can be. Though.
So here's what's going to happen because we have so many friends in the industry, and we've talked about this before. Most of the people I know are in some form or another, whether it's webcam, whether it's they have sites, what have you. And one day, my daughter's going to be flipping through, and she's going to be like, "What is Mom's friend doing on here?"
Yeah,
what
that's
is
my
she
biggest
doing?
fear. He's gonna be flipping through, and he's gonna be like,
I know her.
Star my child for life.
But we've been there before at your place where, our kids were there and everyone around us. And we're both,
it's like a porn star reunion.
And we're both like, one day these kids are going to realize. Like,
gonna
one
realize.
day they're going to know.
Like,
I think it's clicked already.
Well,
not for my kid.
Not for mine. She actually
For
knows
E,
that. She knows a lot of my friends do adult entertainment. Not to what degree.
Okay.
She knows that a few
That
of my
just sends her to
friends.
Google.
I see what her fucking Google is. It's about The Sims. I wish I could find something. Like, I wish there was something on there where I'm like,
I'm the only
oh,
one whose kid has actually Googled Pornhub.
yeah, mine's like, what
It's all
sim
about
can
The
I use
Office
with
or
this?
something.
Yeah. Like, what did Michael Scott do here? No, she's not. I mean, when she's 18, I can direct her to some. Like, maybe you want to check this. I don't know. I don't know how to handle that.
The website is Thor-WWDB.com. And don't be weirded out, but Mommy's seen that penis.
No, I cannot send my daughter to masturbate.
The same stuff you masturbate to.
You can't share
I draw the
videos.
line.
You can't share that.
No.
Draw the line. Sorry, draw the
I
line
can just
right
see
there.
Thanksgiving conversations now. Mom, have you seen Thor's new video?
No.
And then-
No.
Would be amazing.
And Toxi would say, well, did you notice where it ended? Like it stopped in the middle at a certain point.
That was the greatest cum shot I've seen in ages.
It got her in the eye! It got her in the eye!
That's salty. It burns.
I would have, like, when your son's an adult, I will totally have those conversations with him. Mine are very, my conversations right now are limited to, like, do you want you want to know the answer? I will give you the facts. I mean, I just sent her
I
an
used to do that with
article.
my son.
Yeah.
It's like if you really want an answer.
I'll give you the answer. I just sent her Teen Vogue. I swear by Teen Vogue.
I love Teen Vogue.
Teen Vogue is
They have some
amazing.
great sex articles.
It's amazing for adults, but it's amazing for reverse, teenagers who are like coming into their body, coming into their own, about to hit.
Coming into socks.
Coming into socks. Lots of socks. So I often, the very first time, I showed my daughter. Yeah, the very first time, I go, all right, I'm going to show you Teen Vogue. Like, I really want you to check it out. We'll talk about any articles. I pull it up. It was about anal, and I'm like, we're closing. I'm like, Mom's not ready for that one yet. Read the article. If you have
Some
questions,
pretty
come
advanced
to me. But,
teens.
But I just sent her one. It was about, like, the joys of the clitoris. And it's about, about how...
How to diddle your bald man in a boat.
Well, not only that, but a lot of times, individuals don't realize until they're later that there's different pleasures that they should get out of sex. And it was a very thorough and awesome article. And I mean, I sent it and I did the whole, if you want to discuss that, I think it's important for you to read. If you want to discuss it, like, let me know. And then I was totally praying. I'm like, please don't want to discuss this. Please don't ask to discuss this, please.
I bet you she got 4 words into that and was like, I can't.
No,
even
she
read
can't.
this.
She has that. Yeah, she has such a hard time, and she has a hard time with the fact that I'm so open. Yeah.
Has she, do you know if she's even come into her body yet? I mean, is she even looking at herself that way?
No,
And-
no, I know.
Okay.
I mean, she's had, like, the masturbation discussion with me, and, I know she's very, she's modest,
What's
but
the
she's comfortable with her.
What's the masturbation discussion?
I was wondering that.
Should I or
questions.
shouldn't I would
She had
assume.
questions regarding it,
Yeah.
and I answered the questions. And it was one of those when she was done, I was like, I'm
So
going to
glad-
drink.
I'm so glad I have a boy. I think they're just born knowing all of that stuff. I mean, they start diddling with their dick when they're born.
I
Like,
That's
think 'cause
true.
it sticks
I will be
out,
honest.
like they bump into it, it's like, oh, that was nice.
yeah, they grab it all the time.
I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
Did someone have the conversation with you when you were coming into your
about
own?
jerking off?
Well, just about sex in general.
Oh
or
yeah, my
jerking
mom
off?
she always said, if you ever have any questions. So she was always open about everything. She probably told me too much. My mom was a swinger when I was a little kid, and I heard stuff that little kids shouldn't be hearing about their mom being a swinger.
Yeah, that stuff I leave out. Like, I leave out that kind of like, hey, here's where I'm going. Mommy's going to a sex club tonight. Like, I leave all of that out.
Yeah.
She doesn't know about my own personal sex life. Like, that's all off the
No,
table.
But once she figures out that coming over to Auntie Sue's house and spending the night while Mommy and Auntie Sue go out means sex club night, That's gonna weird her out the next time you want to bring her to my house.
One day she'll realize. Actually, one day she'll realize that she can track my phone. We have an app so I can, track hers, but it means she can also see mine. One day she's gonna realize, like, the studios isn't where you broadcast.
Well, you do remotes.
True.
So,
So yeah, I mean, one day she'll figure it out. But I mean, all right. That's not the stuff I share with her. So. Yeah.
Yes.
You could make that part of your good deed, making videos for young teens who are coming into their own. You don't have to whip out your dick on it.
this sounds complicated.
As a sex expert, because technically a porn star is a sex expert.
Yeah.
As one, you could talk to teens about coming into
Socks.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, that people would turn that around and go, he's recruiting?
Yeah, he's trying to.
Yeah.
Do you
pick
think?
him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
As a guy,
not
everybody's
advocate
pointing their
child
finger at you.
Yeah.
You're a big bad guy, and you're out to get somebody. And like she said, like boys already figure this stuff out mostly anyway. I mean, you could because I didn't have a father to sit me down and say, this is how you're supposed to treat women, and this is what women are going to do. Like, this is coming up, so just be, aware of it. And
The thing that sticks out should be rubbed regularly.
stuff like
Apparently
that.
you didn't need the Teen Vogue articles.
But probably a little less sexual talk from a woman. A woman could put that out there and should be appraised for it. A man would probably be arrested for it or something.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah.
I think more positive body and sexual role models for boys would be
Super important.
super great. Because girls, I mean, I love that we're having this great feminine revolution where girls have these great people to look up to who are open about their sex lives, who are comfortable with their bodies, comfortable with their sexualities, comfortable with their gender identities. And I just don't feel like sometimes boys don't have that, because the only male role models they have to look up to for, like a sexual male role model are, no offense anything, but porn stars, and they do not portray most of the time a healthy sexual. They portray a fantasy sex life, which is great, and I think everybody should have that outlet. I love porn, don't take my porn away, but I love porn the way I love anime. I am, for reals, I know that the 7 deadly sins are not going to come and rescue me for some bad demons. Like, it's just not happening. Just the same way I know that, Doc Johnson or Thor or
The plumber.
Ron Jeremy isn't going to just, fuck me when he delivers my pizza. Like, I get that's not really how it goes.
Why
Really?
Would you use
'Cause-
Ron Jeremy?
I'm going to stop
I like
answering the
Ron
door
Jeremy.
then.
I mean, I'd never fuck Ron Jeremy because I'm sure he's got the Her Pacific legs times 3. But I like him. I think he's
Ron
adorable.
Jeremy was there when, oh gosh, who's that dude up in Pahrump that won after he died?
Yeah.
The Bunny Ranch owner.
Thank you,
Yes.
the Bunny Ranch
But
guy.
what's his name,
He was
though?
discovered by Ron Jeremy, his body.
Really?
Yeah. They were having a big party, and I guess he
Ron
kind
Jeremy
of,
found him?
Yeah.
he found his body.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Which probably meant
way
he
to
wasn't
bring
even
Clyde?
dead that long,
No,
you
not
know.
Clyde. Way to bring it down. So I do have a question, totally sort of pertaining to porn.
Just to clarify, for those of you who don't know who Ron Jeremy is or the Bunny Ranch owner is, essentially a male porn star found the proprietor of a whorehouse dead.
Who doesn't know
I
who
think
Ron
everyone
Jeremy
knows
is?
who they are.
There are some young people who
Ron
watch
Jeremy
this
is the
show.
most famous porn star in the world.
Elected to local office.
Yeah, he won.
And won
even
after
though
he was dead.
Yeah.
Not Ron Jeremy, the Bunny Ranch
Yeah.
owner.
How much of a shitty opponent do you need to be to lose
To a dead
someone who's
whorehouse
dead?
owner?
You know, I'm kind of a staunch not Democrat, excuse me, I totally misspoke there. Not Republican whatsoever. And so, living in Wisconsin, not having lived there long, I had to go and vote. I didn't know most of these people who they were, but when they had nobody opposed and it was only a Republican, I wrote in my name because there was a space for write-in.
You like Bugs Bunny.
So I was waiting to be elected sheriff.
By yourself.
Yeah.
So, one of the downfalls to having friends in the industry is that one of the biggest things one time years ago was totally dispelled for me. And that is, a friend told me at the end of a video, the cum shot isn't always real. Like sometimes it is made up of other things, and it was as if you told me Santa wasn't real. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Like I had to go look it up, and I'm like, no, you're kidding me.
Do you ever use spooch juice?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Spunk lube is what they use now.
Spunk lube gives me a rash.
And you know, it burns my asshole.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But there's a synthetic Spunk lube, because Spunk lube has some kind of, it's the white one that has some kind of something in it that is like irritating. I don't usually use it, but they use it for the cum shot. Sometimes, you know.
And if you don't have Spunk lube, there's homemade items that you could whip something up.
You know, I'm a baker, and I like, so I always, whenever I'm mixing up frosting, like if I'm using a glaze, just powdered sugar and water.
It looks spunky.
Looks like cum.
Yeah.
Especially if you over.
Because I've looked at it, and I've like been flooding cookies and going,
do you make it a lot? Like when you're like, I'm having one of these moments, I'm just.
Well, I make cookies
I
a
think
lot.
it's one of the bases of royal icing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you could add, yeah. I mean, it's basically it's powdered sugar and water and corn syrup and.
I want a butt cake with a royal icing cum shot on it. That's what
just
I
a
want
butt?
for my birthday next year. Is a chocolate butt cake.
I don't know that I can get that through security, but I could bring you one from Wisconsin.
I once had to ask my mom. This was for someone to make titty cup they weren't even titty cupcakes. I bought these pans that they were together.
Yeah.
But I can't bake, so I had to take the mold to my mom and ask her to make titty cupcakes.
Did
And
you
your
decorate
mom
them at
said,
least?
No, I had her decorate them, and I'm like, can you make them a little different? Like, I don't want them all the same. I want a variety.
She likes a variety of titty.
Variety.
What
Titty
can I
variety
say?
pack.
I do like a titty variety pack.
so are they different sizes or
Different
just
sizes, different
different
colors?
Well,
colors
the
and
size-
Nipples
sizes-
made out of different things?
The sizes were the same, but we had, some were M&M's, some were
You
toothpicks.
tip some on the side so they're saggy.
Right.
like when the pan overflows, you know, it like.
Yeah, I'm like, keep it, it's natural. Yeah, and so, no, they were all different colors and stuff, and she was trying different things to get, like, different color nipples and areolas and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not telling anyone my mom made this. Like, I got there and I had the box, and I'm like, my mom did make it.
My mom made you these titties. That would be my son. My poor son. I'd be like, are you going to a graduation party with friends? Take these titty cakes.
Everyone, mom made me titty.
And there's
Mom made
about
titty
2
pics.
girls over
Titties for
here.
everyone.
Jasper and Mo, say hi to you.
Hi.
So I texted
hi.
Mo earlier, and I told Mo that we had a surprise tonight, which was you, Brie,
Aw.
because Mo
I
loves
love
you.
Mo. He's like a great guy.
He is a great guy.
I have a question for Brie. Are we going to get the Vegas Bash Brie version back again? Maybe.
Maybe.
I tried,
Maybe.
guys. I tried.
So,
But I want it, and it's killing me not doing a bash. So, I mean, if I can find the right deal, I mean, I want a beautiful place, I want a great price, I want to do the event the way I like to do it. If I have to compromise, then no, because then it's not my event. So that's the problem.
and when are you moving back?
When I can move in with you, Toxi.
I mean, I'm pretty down for that. I believe my daughter will walk to your place.
Your
and pack
daughter
your
loves me. I
bags.
gave her a
She
bottle of
does.
champagne when she was
She does.
13. She
She
thinks
did.
I'm a god.
She did. She gave my daughter her first bottle of alcohol.
Yeah.
But she didn't drink it because that would have been inappropriate.
She would, please. If I could even be like, why don't you drink it? And she's like, that's inappropriate.
My kid says the exact same thing. I'm like, have a drink. I'm not old enough. What the fuck, kid?
For the record, I don't I don't try to make her drink, just for the record, but I was like joking with her about the champagne when it was given to her, and she's like, no, she didn't even want
And
to
she
touch
was
it.
trying to leave my house without it.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, no, that's yours.
Do parents encourage that anymore at holiday events? Like, we used to always have a glass of spumante at Thanksgiving. My parents always fed it to us, and they chose spumante because it was sweet enough for kids, because, kids don't like alcohol, really.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
in Wisconsin, if you take your kids to dinner, like in a restaurant, you can order your child a drink.
Wow.
Really?
I don't know what age
Why
they
didn't
have to
I
be.
grow up there?
Right?
But you
See,
can
now I'm
like
in
get,
Pennsylvania.
someone a beer.
I grew up
you
in
know?
Texas with my biker parents, and so we would go to biker bars, and nobody gave a shit if somebody handed me a beer. I swear to God, nobody gave a shit.
So I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I once went into a bar. I was wearing my band jacket, and I went into the bar,
Band jacket.
and it literally had the high school name. It had a photo of my instrument on it, and they served me.
Really?
Yeah, they totally served me. So, to answer your question, no, I'm not that parent.
I don't. I offer it, but he's always turned me down. So, especially when he got into his preteen years, I didn't offer my 6-year-old alcohol. But, when he became a preteen,
You put it in his bottle.
You're like, on his
Mommy
cup.
needs some
You're putting
sleep.
whiskey on his cups. He's like, Mom, I'm 13. I don't need that. I
Yeah.
don't need it. My
I
teeth
have
are
a
fine.
stash. I'm good.
But I offer, but he doesn't accept. He's
So
had a
it's-
sip or two here or there, but most of the time he's like, that's gross.
I used to have an Aunt Virginia, and we called her Auntie Gingin. And Auntie Gingin always had her glass of medicine.
Of gin?
It was actually beer, but it would have been a better story if it were gin, but it was beer.
Much better.
I know. I
thought
should have
that's where I
lied.
was going.
So, but we used to ask to have a sipper for medicine, and she would make us if we sang a song or did a dance or something.
You had to perform for
We had to perform, and we would get
Perform for
alcohol
beer?
from Auntie Gingin.
That's going to be me as an aunt.
It must be a very old
See it
world
now.
thing. I don't know. I don't know of any parents nowadays that does that at all, and most of the kids don't even want it, which is
No,
kind
that's
of great,
not
actually.
true. There's actually a lot of parents. We have issues, especially here in Vegas, where there's a lot of, or maybe not at holiday events, but they'll supply the alcohol for their kids' parties. There was an incident where they left, they got in an accident, they killed people, and it was because the mom provided alcohol and had a party at the
I
house.
personally, would not want to send my child to a party where somebody else was providing alcohol. It's one thing for me to provide it,
Yeah,
but I don't
Yeah, I don't
think,
trust other people's parents. I'm
no,
sorry.
I
If you're
don't
gonna
think
drink, you're
someone
gonna drink at
should,
home.
provide your child alcohol.
Like, if you're going to go to a party and there's drinking, please be the designated driver. A, you will have amazing stories to tell people later. And B, you can always drink at home. You don't need to drink away from home.
Not as much fun.
My kid knows I don't drink and drive. He's like, you taking another lift? I'm like, yep, Auntie Toxi's on her way over.
that's when you know.
And Toxi comes from intoxicated.
Yes, it does.
I think the first few times we met her, she was always drunk.
I knew her for almost 2 years before she was on the show, and I had never met her
Sober.
The first
How
time
do
I
you
saw
know
her
you have
sober-
yet?
Well, that's true. Yeah, the first time I met her sober was the first time she was a host on the show. I believe we've had you at remotes before you were host on the show.
The very first one I was on the show, I was on with my ex-husband. I found the actual video, and it is embarrassing as fuck. I was drunk as can be.
Wasn't that our 200th episode?
No,
No, she
I
was a
was
host.
sober at that episode. That's
Okay.
the episode I was announced as a host. This was at an event. It was at the Plaza. And I won't go too far back because I literally want no one to go find that video, but it is on there.
Move the mic a little bit closer to you, please.
Okay. So yeah, anyway, that's the very first time I was on. I remember coming off the elevator, just super barely, walking straight, came on and told you guys shit that.
Well, we love you, so.
And I think that's how you got the job, right?
I believe so.
We were like, this is great. We need
also,
her on.
I was willing to let my ex-husband sleep with one of the other hosts. that was on. So that's,
That
I
would
mean,
get it too.
right, like that. I'm like, hey, can you do this for me? Sure. I solidified it.
I've never actually had sex with her ex-husband.
I haven't either, just for the record.
And
but-
neither have I.
I mean,
I've been
Are we
in
the
a
only
room.
ones? No.
I missed that.
She said, "Are we the only ones?"
I mean, that's what I was trying not to say, but I wasn't saying.
That's why you have
you
friends
know.
like me.
I know, that's when I shut my mouth. But you've watched me have sex with him.
I have, yes. I have. I watch a lot of people have sex with their spouses. A lot. We play off the fact that Elexia is the voyeur of the group, but I've done plenty of voyeuring myself.
We have. All of us have.
Although you didn't just voyeur. Like, I remember your mouth different places. We're just sharing. You didn't just
that
have
doesn't
the
count.
popcorn.
If you're actually doing something, it doesn't count as voyeurism.
It was like, I mean, it
That's
wasn't. I never got
participation.
near anybody's genitals.
Stay away from my title. Thank you very much.
Chief voyeur.
Oh, goodness.
Jasper says, I remember having Kahlua at 14. I knew I was a lightweight at that moment. Lisa says, I was 13 or 14 when my grandmother gave me a couple of wine coolers.
Why are people surprised when grandparents give their kids alcohol?
I would think that would be the first people to do it.
I would think so, too.
Grandpa's always a fucking drunk.
My grandparents didn't. They weren't like that. My grandparents weren't the alcoholics my parents are, but they. I mean, they came from a time when you could drink at 18, and most of the time you were hitting the bar at 16. It wouldn't be outside of, an idea that they might offer the kid a glass of wine or something like that.
Really quick, because we only have 5 minutes left, would you be willing to share the story, again, of how you kind of got into the industry?
Tripped on a dog, fell into a vagina.
No. You don't remember it? You told it the
Oh,
first
you
time
don't
he was on the show.
Well, it was a long day. I was working for an oil company, Halliburton, the biggest oil company in the world.
So you had lots of lube.
And I was driving a semi truck up to North Dakota. You remember now? And I jerk off when I drive, and I do it.
Who doesn't?
I think a lot of truckers do. They just don't tell people. So I was jerking off while I was driving the semi truck, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna record it and send it to my girlfriend. So I just recorded it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it on the internet and see what happens. And well, something happened. I got fired.
Oh.
And because I completely forgot about it, because I was working like 2-week shifts, I was working all the time. So when I got to the hotel, I just put it up and just completely forgot about it. Well, rent
Were you in your uniform, or did it say?
I did. I had my Halliburton shirt.
He wasn't even chill about it.
No. I
And
thought.
did it was it tattooed on your penis? I mean,
So here's the thing. Somebody from Halliburton had to go
Somebody
see
from Halliburton
it
saw it
and
and
report it.
reported it to somebody
Which
working
means
in
they had
Houston.
to admit that they were watching you jerk off.
Well, they probably said that somebody
so they
showed
sent it to them. Yeah.
But it was somebody who was jerking off to it. This was like 5 or 6 years ago when the tube sites were rather new. And it hit 70,000 views in the first week or the first 2 weeks. I can't remember which one it was, which was unheard of back
Which
then.
it had to be. HR had to all be in there, in a room.
No, they had
Wide
photos. They had
shut.
photos of it. Because then they brought me into the office to fire
With
me.
photos.
They're
in the
like,
office?
so, can you tell us about Xtube? And I was like, oh. I was like, it's an adult website. And then she opened up this vanilla folder, and she started pulling out these photos of me driving this truck, pinching my nipple. You couldn't see my dick in the photo though. And she pulled out 2 photos, and of course I wasn't gonna try to lie my way out of it,
You go, oh no, that's my twin brother.
I was like, oh yeah, and yeah, I'm sure
They were probably
everybody-
more concerned that you were actually a distracted driver.
No. Nobody mentioned that I was driving and operating a fucking commercial driver's license, $3 million semi with their fucking trailer pump.
They were worried about their logo in your.
They were
all
concerned that
they
you were
worried
pumping
about
something else.
Is that pumping my cock? They were just complaining that I had their fucking Halliburton shirt on. I should have kept the damn shirt, and I should still be.
You should
I was gonna say,
you should have
be,
done a
like,
video
not in the shirt
later.
now.
Maybe I should still do videos.
Yeah. And like every bottle of lube that you have in every scene should have like the logo on it.
Halliburton.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure they eventually should.
Tattooed on his penis is hun, and then when it grows, it's Halliburton.
Right. That's the joke of never mind. I'll tell it later. It's a long joke.
We want to say we are super, super grateful for all of our fans out there, for all of you who are Patreon sponsors, for all of you who join us every Tuesday night in chat and throw your 2 cents in. We love it. When we don't get to it, we're sorry, but we only have an hour. In fact, we only have about 1 minute. So thank you very much. Brie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Toxi,
having
thank
me.
you for bringing her. And Thor, we want to have you on a lot more often
Yeah.
on the show.
And we want to get you
if possible.
off a lot more often.
Do you guys want to say anything before we end this? Quickly.
No, only that Brie stole my line.
I'm Elexia.
I'm proud that I stole that line. I'm Brie.
Thor Johnson.
Toxi.
And Sierra.
And we will see you next year.
If you're brave enough, motherfucker.
Later, bitches.